I was just listening to um, Susan Lynn. I am like a very much around the peripheral sort of looker into the politics world. I am very much dependent on the knowledge of um, those that I'm watching, but that doesn't change the fact that I get pictures and things that come through whenever I am listening to someone like, for instance, Susan Lynn. So, hello, this is Pomona Remembers, by the way, and I am just going to give some things that have come through. I have this funny little box that I created with a whole bunch of bunting from Michael's. I got a bunch of mystery boxes, and they had like turkeys on a string and acorns on a string and pies on a string like pumpkin and whatever. So I needed sort of a voice booth, and I was like, what am I gonna do with these buntings, because that's really kind of not my jam. The way these things were, I was like a little bit disappointed, but now it's become one of my cat's favorite places to rest. And it is also where I use what I use to do voiceovers. So currently, Scout is laying down in the box. In the box, Scout is. So if you hear any kind of purring, Scout's just right beside you. So I was listening to Susan Lynn's latest communication, and she talked about how she had a visitation with Kamala's mother, and it reminded me of the night of the um, debate and the vision that I got, and how confused I sort of became when the results of the competition went in the way that they went. So I I do have a video explaining the vision that I had, but as I was listening to Susan Lynn, I was like, she's talking about um America's role in history and responsibility for things that were meddlesome and, frankly, yeah, very, very meddlesome, and with other countries. And the chickens, I guess, coming home to roost, looking at the way things have been meddled with in other countries, like karmic debt and things like that. And I was like, oh, isn't it lovely that the first female representative of this country, possibly, um, just has a giant steaming pile of turd to clean up after. How lovely. We wrecked it completely. Could you fix it? You're a smart girl. Maybe? And I was sort of like, I was irritated about it. But, the specialist is the specialist. And there's no, like, I really trust that the world is changing. Like, I've had so many signs come along the way, and things are changing. So I was having those feelings. I was having those fifis. I was in my fifis about Kamala having to come in and clean up the damn mess. That's what it was. I was being a protective mama, and I was in my fifis about it. And my guides were just like, listen, the strongest person has to do it. So the strongest person has to do it. And it just so happens to be in this body. Okay. It doesn't mean anything. That's my, whatever. But they also took me back to when I was a mother. And, well, I still am a mother, but when I was a mother to very young children, um, my youngest started walking exceptionally early, like too early, and was always trying to keep up with their older brother. And therefore, had hit their forehead, um, a few times and required stitches in the emergency because head wounds, they bleed a lot. And it was a lot. And this is going to be graphic, okay? So if you have a queasy, squeezy tummy, and I'm going to try to be as rated G as possible. Like I used to work with children, so I try to be as subtle about things as possible. So when my youngest they needed sutures, because their skin had an injury that required sutures. But they're a toddler. They're about 1. So this happened over from 1 till 2, when they should have, like, as their body got used to walking and balance and all those things, we had some injuries, right? Like, should have been wearing a helmet, sort of, possibly. I don't know, but you never know when things are going to happen. So anyway, part of that procedure was me having to witness very up close and personal the procedure being performed by the doctor and the nurses. And actually, I had to be a part of the triage moment by holding my child's head completely stationary so that there was no slippage of the sutures or the scissors. So my job was one of the most important jobs, other than, like, just making sure that they could do their job well. And I remember just being in the moment with my child, watching this unfold right in front of my face, and it being one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, but I had to do it because I loved them so much that I didn't want them to have any more injury because they were gonna flail around. So what happens is they get wrapped in this warm blanket because they're obviously in shock. So they get, like, butterflied in. It's like their little arms get pinned in, and then a nurse or two, depending on the size of the child, lays their body across the child's body so that they cannot wriggle in their body, which is what is left is the head and the neck, which is where I had to come in to help. And I just remember understanding that this is called tough love. This is the stuff you have to do that you don't want to do, that you never thought you'd have to do for your child, because you were ready for, like, scrapes and things like that, but this being in the middle of a medical emergency sort of thing to get your kids skin put back together and to stop the bleeding so that they can carry on. So this is the picture that the guides brought up to me, this particular moment in my life of this tough love of a mother. And it's like, I love you enough to not allow you to hurt yourself anymore, kind of an energy. I love you enough that we need to take care of this bleeding and this wounding. And this was the picture that also came in during this video. And I also wanted to share that with you. And also just wanted to encourage you to continue to take care of yourself, to imagine the world which you would like to be in. And I'm going to create a playlist. I might download and make I don't know, of old pictures that I saw over a year ago, like ships and trade and all. Anyway, it's a lot. So we're going into 2025, and I just wish you love. Sometimes it's tough love, but that growth and that knowing that you're going to be taken care of. And the adults are in the room. Oh yes, they're also showing me, I had a picture of Joe Biden as Sully, that pilot who landed the airplane in the river in New York, and the airplane was sort of like America. I saw it was like he's just going to keep it from the most amount of damage. And then, yeah, so these are just things that have come in through my meditations, and when I go into and just ask questions and I'm curious, the pictures come through. So these are the pictures that have come through, and I wish you all well. I send you love for your journey. May we focus in on creating love and community, kindness and acceptance, taking care of our people in our lives who have less than us and who could use a hand up. We'll do the opposite of those who are oh, that's the other thing. I have a sorry guys. I have a video about wealth hoarders. So this is the thing. It's like this community where we have to like create something new for ourselves that is like taking our energy away from the old thing that doesn't work anymore. So I wish you love for your journey, and to my Anam Kara, I just appreciate you, and I thank you for being a good mirror for me in my growth and my journey forward into this new world and this new realm. May we all wake up, and may we all be able to shine bright and guide forward those who need the directions, those who are just waking up and seeing the truth for the truth. So to all of you, I just give gratitude for listening to me and for spending time with me. Ta-ra.